Hey there YouTube, this is Hotel Alpha 5 Bravo Radio Golf and welcome back to my channel. So we are back with this old RFT receiver made in the GDR, also known as the German Democratic Republic, or to put it simply, East Germany. This receiver was manufactured in 1989, 1 year before the Berlin Wall collapsed and the communist state ceased to exist in East Germany. So I can say that this is a very late model, because as far as I can remember, these sets were manufactured from 1985 or 1984, I can't remember. When I bought this receiver a few weeks ago, it did exactly nothing. When I pressed the power button, nothing happened. I can say that it showed no signs of life. It was a complete mess. So now let's take a few seconds to take a quick look what I have repaired so far. In the last few videos I told you that I have changed these fuse holders. I have also replaced these electrolytic capacitors here, and these 4 diodes there, and these 2 diodes have to be changed as well. So the mains transformer was okay, it worked fine. The power supply board located here needed some repairs. After that it worked fine, connected to a laboratory power supply. So I did put it back to the radio and reconnected all wires, as you can see. The dial mechanism, this is a difficult word, so this dial linkage here was stuck, so I wasn't able to move it, but as you can see now it runs freely. There's a variable capacitor under here, it moves freely as well, and as you can see the little illuminated scale right here moves freely from right to left and left to right, so it's very easy to turn the knob. It moves nicely. Okay, as you can see on these other boards I have also replaced, let me get a pointing device, a screwdriver. I've also replaced the electrolytic capacitors, all of them, and this is the preamplifier board. I have also replaced the capacitors here as well. If I remember correctly, there were 19 or 20 capacitors on it. There are only 3 caps which need to be replaced. One is located here, one is located there, and there it is, and the third one is over there. So only 3 caps needs to be replaced now at the moment. So that's all. I have replaced the faulty components. And there is one more thing I almost forgot. So in the last video I told you about the final audio amplifier stages, 2 sides, left side and right side. The right side worked properly, but the left side, on the left side I could only measure some low volume distorted signals, so the left side was completely useless. If I tried to run this thing from its internal radio circuits. I mean FM, long wave, medium wave or short wave. But when I connected it to an external audio source, for example a CD player or an MP3 player, it worked just fine. So I thought that the problem should be around here in this section, which holds the tone control and volume control circuits as well. And I was just right. Because if you can see, there is a chip located here, this one. This one is different from the others. If you see it closely, you can see that that's the only chip in the receiver that is sitting in a socket. All other chips are mounted to the board without any sockets, but this one has a socket. And the reason is behind this that I've pulled the original chip here because it was faulty. This caused all the trouble with the left side of the audio PA stage. This chip here, its type is A like apple, so A290 and D for Daniel. A290 and D. This is an East German stereo decoder chip. As far as I can remember, it has a Western substitute. Its type is MC1310. I think it was manufactured by Motorola or Texas Instruments, I can't remember. Anyway, this East German stereo decoder chip was faulty. The right output pin of the chip, on the right output pin I could measure a very nice, clear and strong signal, but on the left output pin the signal was very low, distorted, and I wasn't really able to get a good look at it, even with this scope here. So it was faulty. I pulled the original chip, I put a chip socket, an IC socket in its place, and I got a new chip. Well, it's not really new, it's a new used one, but for this receiver this is a new one. I've pulled it from an old East German radio rack, from an old module, and now here comes the big moment, because I will turn this set on and we will see if it works. Well, I have to tell you guys that I've already tried it before this video. I made some measurements because I didn't want to let any trouble happen while making this video, so I didn't want the magical smoke come out of the chip. You know the old jokes that all computer chips and processors are working with smoke. You know why? If the smoke stays in, chip works fine. Smoke comes out, chip stops working. Haha. So that's all for the repairs, and now see what the receiver does when I turn it on. So let's push the power button. We heard a small click. It was the speaker protection circuit. And now I will start some music. The speaker here is connected to the left side, and as you can see that the mono switch is depressed. This means that the two audio output channels are now running independently. What does this mean? Well guys, this means that the receiver's left output side in the audio PA stage is working fine. So the repair is almost completed, because I have to make some adjustments with the output levels. I will have to grab the service manual for this, and I will show you the fine adjustment steps in my next video. And guys, that's all for now. The radio is working fine. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, just click subscribe or take a look at my other videos if you have some free time. This was Hotel Alpha 5 Bravo Radio Golf ham radio station. Everyone have a nice day, and now let's listen to this good old East German music on an East German receiver. One more thing guys, I almost forgot to show you what the receiver does when I switch to the radio. The speaker is still connected to the left side, and if you remember, I told you that there were some issues with the left side when the receiver was using its internal audio source. I mean the radio receiver itself. But as you can see, now it's working just fine. All you niggas gon' die.